Unrest yesterday in Ferguson, Missouri, to say the least. We had significant, really an attack on the protesters by the police. I'm going to show you a video about that in a little bit. And there has been some developments in that. Over 50 people have been arrested since Sunday. On the first night, there was real serious looting and rioting, however you want to phrase that. But it was dangerous. There's no question about that. And since then, there's been, it appears, largely, if not completely, peaceful protests. That didn't really stop the local police force there from going in gangbusters with military equipment anyway, which I'm also going to show you in a minute, and attacking the press as well. So now there's a little bit of change. Governor Jay Nixon says that he is going to move out the Ferguson cops and the county cops and move the highway patrol in. They will now be in charge of security. Interesting. He says, once again, I ask that members of the community demonstrate patience and calm while the investigation continues, and I urge law enforcement agencies to keep the peace and respect the rights of the residents and the press during difficult time. So he's saying that, look, we got to respect the press as well. A couple of reporters arrested from Huffington Post, from Washington Post, and an Al Jazeera crew basically attacked with tear gas. Now, he says, or Associated Press explains, Governor Jay Nixon says the security will be overseen by Captain Ron Johnson of the Highway Patrol. Johnson, who's black, said he grew up in the community, and it means a lot to me personally that we break this cycle of violence. So I just think that's a infinitely better move to get someone who did grow up in that community. He's a cop. He's the head of the Highway Patrol. So he's going to go in there and hopefully calm both sides down. Let's hope for the best here, okay? Or he's at least part of the Highway Patrol. Now, Governor Jay Nixon again says Ferguson will not be defined as a community that was torn apart by violence, but will be known as a community that pulled together to overcome it. I think that's a nice statement. I want to give him a chance to bring that forward. He's been a little bit MIA throughout this, but now taking charge and doing some of the right things. Ferguson's mayor, James Knowles, his reaction not as great. He said a lot of unlawfulness going around these peaceful protests. So again, blaming the protesters. That's why we have to be vigilant. I can't second guess these officers. They are the professionals. They have learned for many years of dealing with these incidents across the nation. Now that's interesting. Why did the Ferguson police go all across the nation? No, what he's saying is we have experts who have trained getting ready and excited about situations like this. They've got all this military equipment and they can't wait to use it. And hey, we've got an opportunity here. Great, great. Let's throw tear gas and rubber bullets. Again, we'll get to that in a second. But let me have you listen to the mayor himself. Let's go. Actually, before we do that, let me show you what he's responding to. This video is of the protests and the police reaction to it. There will be an annoying sound somewhat through the video here. Understand that you're going to get a small piece of that. They got a lot of that last night. That's among the different things that were thrown at them.
You must disperse immediately. This is no longer a peaceful protest when you try to injure people. You must disperse now.
That war zone you were looking at is in Missouri. So you're not looking at Fallujah there. You're not looking at Gaza. That's in Missouri, for Christ's sake. Now, cops claim, oh, I think maybe somebody was shooting at us. The mayor's going to talk about that in a second. And somebody might have been trying to light a Molotov cocktail. And then, of course, that got then misreported in the rest of the places. Molotov cocktail, Molotov cocktail. Somebody might have been, wait, you just saw the video. Who was firing at who? And who was throwing the stuff that had smoke, fire? It's the guys who looked like they were Navy SEAL Team 6, but were in fact local cops dressed up to play soldiers, right? So it appeared that they were the ones firing on the protesters. Now, here's the mayor on television to explain.
As the statement we released, and you've already alluded to, we'd like to have all of those who wish to protest and assemble to do so, and we try to do so in a productive manner and a safe manner. Unfortunately, when the evening hours come, those who want to cause problems and hide under the cover of darkness and hide behind lawful and peaceful protesters, they come out and they cause problems. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people in the way when that happens.
Yeah, now they're saying, hey, you know what? We're going to need to have you express your outrage at what happened in a very calm way, only during the daylight hours and in the prescribed way. So when you're really angry at the cops, what you need to do is calm down and respect exactly what the cops' orders are. And your First Amendment rights about, assembly and speech, etc., could you not do it at night? It's kind of annoying, And so then we're going to have to fire tear gas and rubber bullets at you. Now, if there was significant reports of the protesters attacking the cops, believe me, they'd be all, oh my God, holy hell from these black rioters, right? I'm looking, and they're throwing out really vague stuff. Did any cop get hurt at all? No, not as far as anyone can tell, right? And believe me, if a cop had gotten hurt, that would be the first headline that you saw, right? But a lot of loose talk here, and we've got to control these protesters. And by the way, they're mainly chanting, hands up, don't shoot. That's the #1 chant there, hands up, don't shoot. And they're all going in like this, the protesters are. I mean, how much more nonviolent could it be? I heard somebody was trying to light something. Sure they were. Okay, here's more from the mayor, who I don't believe.
What your cameras aren't showing is that gunfire is erupting all around this at this time. So as peaceful people protest, as peaceful people have their vigil, there are people outside those lines firing in the air, around, through officers. Our own police chief was shot at, as well as the county police chief was shot at in a drive-by. So there is a lot of unlawfulness going around these peaceful protests, and that's why we have to be vigilant. And I can't second guess these officers. They are the professionals.
I don't believe them at all. Are you kidding me? They shoot at the 2 top cops in a drive-by? Do you know what kind of lockdown there would be? They would send in the National Frickin' Guard, man. They'd bring in Navy SEAL Team 6 if there was a drive-by on the head of the cops. No big deal. Let's just go on with our lives. No, come on. Nobody got hit, luckily. It's just, but I hear your cameras didn't show it, but there was a lot of shooting from the other side. You know why our cameras couldn't show anything? Because you arrested the people with the cameras. They did. A guy from the Washington Post slammed into a soda machine at McDonald's. They've been at McDonald's for days covering this story. The Washington Post reporter and the Huffington Post reporter. Cops bust in and they say, all right, that's it. You got to go. We're arresting you. We're arresting. For what? Trespassing. What, trespassing at McDonald's? The McDonald's is like, no, we're happy to have them here. They just made that up, right? And the Washington Post reporter happens to be African American. So he's like, look, I'm putting my hands behind my back. I know the drill. Okay, I know what you're going to do. And I'm not resisting arrest. And a cop says to him, stop resisting arrest. Stop resisting arrest. They fired a tear gas canister right at an Al Jazeera camera. So, gee, I don't know why the cameras don't show anything. Hey, if you want the cops, the poor malign cops in the area to show their side, you might want to let cameras in. If you guys are right, wouldn't you want press everywhere? Look at these looters and rioters. Look at their Molotov. Hey, Al Jazeera, over here, Al Jazeera America. Capture that guy throwing the Molotov cocktail. And the guy doing the driveway. Oh, that's weird. You're the one throwing out the cameras. Please. So what do they use? First of all, here's a litany of things that they use on the protesters. Tear gas, rubber bullets, Heavily armed SWAT teams were in the area, and mine-resistant vehicles. What? Were there IEDs planted by the guys chanting, "Hands up, don't shoot"? Okay, now here's one of the reporters being arrested. This is Reilly, a picture of Reilly from the Huffington Post. He's very, very dangerous, so he had to be escorted out. Wow, yeah, and then he was so dangerous they immediately let him go after he stopped reporting. Gee, I wonder why they arrested him at that McDonald's. And now I want to show you a tear gas canister going off by an Al Jazeera America camera. Now, look, did they think that those reporters were firing anything? No, it's look at where the camera is. There's nothing else around it. They fired the tear gas canister at the camera, and that's the reporters running away. Gee, I wonder who doesn't want the information to get out. I can't quite tell. All right, so now let me show you how insanely militarized our police departments across the country, and in this case, Ferguson, have become. Look at these pictures now. Now, I defy you to figure out which one is which, right? Where are the cops? They all look like military, right? But they're not. On the left-hand side, you see Ferguson, Missouri. On the right-hand side there, you've got a picture from Iraq in 2005 as our soldiers search it. There's a lot more where this came from. On the left-hand side, you've got Ferguson. On the right-hand side, you've got Iraq in 2003. And it's not an accident these are the same equipment being used. I'm going to tell you all about that in a second. On the left-hand side, we have Ferguson. Right-hand side, we have Afghanistan in 2014. Left-hand side, Ferguson. Right-hand side, Iraq in 2005. Why do they have snipers? Who are you sniping at? They can't wait to use these toys. They love them. On the left-hand side, Ferguson. On the right-hand side, Afghanistan in 2011. Who's planting IEDs in Missouri? Please, get the... On the left-hand side, Ferguson. On the right-hand side, Iraq in 2004. Okay, so you see how this is going. Now, let me tell you about how much fun they're having with all these different equipment. That they're chomping at the bit to use, and they're like, oh, thank God. In fact, they have an incentive to use, which I'll also explain to you. Great article from Talking Points Memo that summarizes a lot of reporting on this issue. One of the main problems is this program called the 1033. Let me explain that to you. The 1033 program, which was approved by Congress in 1992 to help law enforcement fight the war on drugs, of course, and was expanded in 1997, allows police departments to request and receive refurbished military equipment from the U.S. Defense Department free of charge. That equipment can range from night vision goggles to military-grade firearms and armored vehicles. That goofball Steven Seagal used an armored vehicle to bust up a very dangerous cockfighting scheme in Arizona. He ran over the guy's house. It turned out to be the wrong guy. Okay, and then they taped it. They're doing a reality show down in Arizona because that sheriff down there is very tough. No, they love these toys. And more programs that actually send more weapons into the local police departments. There's a $500 million assistant grant as well, and a $1 billion Homeland Security grant program. Now, those two programs are not exclusively for military equipment being sent to the local police. It's unclear how much of those programs are being used, but certainly some percentage are, and 1033 is sending in a giant amount of equipment as well. I'll tell you more about that. And so all these guys have this military equipment, and they're looking for a military problem. More from Talking Points. Remember, the ACLU estimated in June 2014 that 500 MRAP vehicles built to withstand roadside bombs are now in the hands of American law enforcement. To my knowledge, I literally don't know if there's ever been a roadside bomb in America. Obviously, there's been plenty of bombs. Abortion clinics have been bombed. There was September 11th, obviously. But an IED, we've got 500 of them, IED-resistant vehicles all over local law enforcement. I don't know that they literally ever come in handy. David Mostier reported for USA Today that Ferguson police had received 2 vehicles, a trailer and a generator, through the program in 2013. Newsweek reported Thursday that St. Louis County Police had been given 9 utility trucks and 2 cargo trailers since 2012. All those goodies to use. The Defense Logistics Agency stated on its website that nearly $450 million worth of equipment were distributed nationwide in 2013. Now, Thomas Jackson, who's the Ferguson police chief, says, oh, maybe the kind of Molotov cocktails, quote, people have bombs now. Well, when you have bomb-resistant vehicles, you see bombs all around you. They don't have bombs in Ferguson. There are no bombs. If a bomb had gone off last night in Ferguson, it would be a headline in every single story you ever saw. Oh my God, they bombed us. They're domestic terrorists, okay? No such thing. But they've got these bomb-resistant vehicles. Where are the bombs? Where are the bombs? Where are the bombs? Let's go get the sons of bitches anyway. More from TPM. Departments are required to use the equipment, this is really interesting, that they receive within 1 year, which Dansky, who's an expert, said could actually incentive the use of the equipment even when it's unnecessary. Bingo. Now, if you've got all these goodies and they cost a lot of money and it makes you feel like a soldier in G.I. Joe and you want to play around with them and you have to use them within the year, oh my God, bomb over there, you're firing over there, black people there, let's go use them. And Senator Elizabeth Warren on this program very aptly put, she said, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Bingo. So thank God the local cops, who clearly overreacted last night, to say the least, let alone the original shooting of Michael Brown in the first place, who had his hands up and was shot several times, have been removed, and the highway patrol is now going to come in and patrol instead. Let's hope that they do a much, much better job.